Hello, everyone. This hour on Verbling, the next in my Learning Through Pictures series, we're going to begin part 2 of today's class on occupations. I'm calling this unit, What's My Line? That's the name of a famous game show from the 1950s and 60s where you had to figure out the job of a guest on the game show. What's my line? So this is going to be our second hour working on occupations, and we're going to work on a lot more vocabulary than just that. Now that you know more or less how to ask the questions, how to work on some keywords for locations, we're going to move on to vocabulary about what these people actually do. So that's a bit about the class. Here's a bit about me. I'm Jon-Eric, your Verbling teacher for this hour. I'm an American teacher from New York, hanging out in Lisbon, Portugal to bring you this class. Here are 3 quick rules to help you participate. Don't forget to turn off, tune in, and open up, which means turn off your microphone when you're not speaking so that we can keep the classroom nice and quiet. Tune in to the new words when you are speaking so I can correct you and give you feedback. Finally, open up to your classmates. Relax and have fun. We're all here to learn, and this is a safe and respectful place to practice your English. As you know, in Learning Through Pictures, we're going to begin by, I don't want to do this one, I want to do this one. We're going to begin by learning vocabulary by asking questions. So this is the last unit, going for a spin with cars. And as I said, I'm not going to go through the whole set of instructions, but just to remind you quickly, I'll ask you a question, you'll answer it using the next picture, then you'll ask someone else the next question. You'll ask a question with this structure. What's the part of the car? Or what's the job? Or where is the person? Whatever the question is, plus a location, plus a description. So when you answer, when someone asks you, your answer should repeat that structure. There's a steering wheel, location word, right in the middle, description, circular. There's a circular steering wheel right in the middle of the picture. There is or there are is a good way to start the answer, okay? Just to show you a structure that you can use. Don't forget, I will put all of the vocabulary for you in the notes. I'll do it after class, okay? But the questions that you ask, I am putting in the notes right now. So basically, everyone's been using the same 2 basic kinds of questions. What kind of job does the man on the far right above have? So, does the man, then you got the location, and then you end the sentence with have. That's one kind of question. I could also say, what is the person's job? What is the person's job? I want to say, what is the So this sentence could be hard to construct. So let me give you more than one version. Give me a second, because I'm having trouble writing on my document. Give me a second. What is the person's job? If I say who is on the top left, it sounds a little awkward, because that who is, we'd like to take out those words. What is the person on the top left's job is actually the right way to say it. I know it's a little difficult to say it that way. So let me give you both. What is the person's job on the top left? What I want to show you is that who is can be taken out, basically. So in the sentence, what kind of occupation does the man who's next to the mason? What kind of the job? Oh, I think this is a mistake here in the notes. What kind of job does the man who's next to the mason have? What kind of occupation? Sorry. So here, you could take out whose. What kind of occupation does the man next to the mason have? I want to take out whose, so I'm going to put that in parentheses. By the way, if you want to see the notes, you can open the link that I'll give you, but let me just point out what I'm doing here. Hold on just a second. I was going to show you the notes. If you need to see this, I don't know the page. I can tell you in just a second. Then we'll get started. The page is 6. So in today's unit, I've just written down the questions so far. Okay? I will give you all the vocabulary after class, though. So as you can see there, let me make this just a little bit bigger. There we go. As you can see there, whose in the second version of the question is in parentheses in number 2 because you don't need it. It sounds better if you take it out. What kind of occupation does a man next to the mason have? So that's the have question. That's the have version. So I'll put those in bold. I'll put the verbs in bold so that you can remember that does comes first, have comes at the end. But we've got a second kind of question with the verb to be. What is the person's job on the top left? That's probably the best way to ask it. There's other ways, but they're a little bit more complicated. So we'll probably be working with those two kinds of questions. And now that you know that, we're going to get right back into where we left off. Let me go back to my notes. All right. So I'll start it off. In the lower row, in the middle left, what do you think that person's job is, Asma? In the lower row, in the middle left, what do you think that person's job is? Oh, you know what? My picture is backwards for some reason. Are you saying that backwards too?
Yeah, for me it's okay. I can see all the.
Yeah, but the letters are backwards for some reason. I don't know why that is. On my screen it's backwards. So hopefully it's not on your screen. Let me try that again. Hold on a second. For some reason I think that the screen sharing didn't work. Give me a second. 1 second.
Okay.
What do you see now? Anything?
I can see it very well.
It looks okay now?
Yes, it looks okay.
Okay. All right, great. So, let me see if I'm in the right place. 21. Yeah, okay, fine. So, Asma, in the lower row, in the middle left, what do you think her occupation is?
I don't know exactly in English. Clue?
That's why you're here. You're going to find out. What's your guess?
It's a clone.
Well, remember the lower row, Asma, the lower row, not the,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So in the middle left, what do you think her job is? Painter. Yeah. So, what do you think her job is? If a question like that, you can either say, yeah.
Her job. I think her job is a painter.
Okay, good. Or you could just say, she's a painter. I think she's a painter. Even simpler. I think she's a painter. Very good. That's it. All right. We got less people, so I think we can ask questions a little more easily with less people. So, Asma, you're asking Christian. Okay. Anyone except 21, because that was yours. Anyone else? Give him a tough one. Give him a difficult one.
Okay. What is the job of the person who is next to who is
You can't mention a new occupation right now. You can only mention the painter because we don't know the other occupations yet. So you could say the location in relation to the painter, or you could say the location in terms of right, left, up, and down in 2 dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. What is the occupation of the person who is next to the painter?
Next to the
Uh,
painter on the right,
or
on the left?
on the right.
Okay, good. If someone is very
Yes.
close, Asma,
Yes.
if someone is close, you can always say to the right or to the left of, if they're close. So,
Okay.
what do you think the job is of the person to the right or to the left of the painter? Which one is it?
Has.
To the left. So let me hear the whole question.
Uh, okay. What is the occupation of the person who is to the right of the painter half like this?
Oh, you said is. So if you say is, you don't need have. If you use the verb to be, you don't need have.
Okay.
Yeah. So let me repeat the question for you, and I'm going to also take out the word who because it's not necessary. I'm going to take it out. So listen to me.
Um,
What is the occupation of the person? What is the occupation of the person to the right of the painter? So if I say is, not does, is, I don't need have as a main verb. Clear?
okay. Yeah,
Question.
clear.
What is the occupation of the person to the right of the painter? To the
Yes,
right.
and he has a sewing machine.
He has a sewing machine. So what does that mean?
I
Yeah.
think he's a dressmaker, maybe.
He's a dressmaker, but more in general, because maybe he makes things other than dresses. Maybe he makes shirts, maybe he makes pants. So more generally than a dressmaker is a what? More general. The person who fixes your clothes, the person who creates clothes that are meant to fit you specifically is what? Not a dressmaker, but what do you think, Christian? Can you think of another word, a more general word?
Mm,
Nothing comes to mind, huh?
I don't know.
No problem. Class, what's another word for?
Sewer.
Say again?
Sewer.
Uh, we got a
No?
better word than sewer. Sew is what he does, what he's doing right now. He's sewing. That's
I mean,
true.
Taylor.
sewer. No?
Couturier. Couturier. Something like this.
Good guess, but that's
Taylor.
a. Who is that, Giuseppe?
Taylor.
Tailor is correct. The general word would be tailor.
Taylor.
Tailor, which is Tailor. 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 So there's a tailor. So that was to you, Christian. You're going to start with there is. Repeat. There's a tailor to the right of the painter. Repeat.
He's a tailor to the.
Wait. Not he. There's a tailor.
Okay. There's a tailor next to the painter.
Okay, good, but you didn't repeat. Listen, there's a tailor to the right of the painter.
There's a tailor to the right of the painter.
Exactly. Because I want you to try to use a construction that's not familiar to you. That's why I want you to repeat. It's true. He's next to the tailor, next to the painter. It's true. But maybe to the right is something you're less familiar with. So that's why I want you to repeat it. Very good, Christian. Your next question is to Giuseppe.
Okay. What's the person job just to the right
Of the
of the man who is in the middle top?
What's the person's job just to the right of the man in the middle of the top row? But I see two men in the middle of the top row. So you mean on the top, in the middle left or the middle right?
In the middle right.
Okay. Ask the question again using that. One more time. So I got it. This is for you,
Okay.
Giuseppe.
What's the person job? Have what's the person job in the in the right top half.
In the right top, in the top right, or in the middle right? I didn't understand.
In
Because you
the
say that.
in the middle right top.
Ah, okay. Let's ask it like this: what's the person's job in the middle right on the top? I'll say on the top just to make it really clear that I'm talking about the top row. Okay? I'll say on the top. So repeat after me. What's the person's job in the middle right on the top or on the top row?
What's the person job in the top right on the top?
No, not the top right, but the
In
middle
the
right.
Sorry. In the middle right on the top.
Perfect. That's it. Giuseppe, what's that person's job, do you think?
I think he's
You gotta see that object there, that next to, on his left side. Can you see what those things are?
teeth, like a prosthetic
Right. So what's his job?
prosthesis teeth, something like that. Teeth
Prosthetic teeth. Okay, maybe. Well, if you see teeth, then what's his job? If you see eyes, he's an optician. If you see teeth, what is he?
He's a teeth. No.
He's a teeth. No.
No. I
This
know the
time in
words,
English,
but in English,
it's the same word in Italian and in English. It's the same word. It's the same because in teeth you say dentale, right? In Italian. So, and what's the occupation?
it's a technician, teeth technician.
No, come on. How do you say the person who works with teeth in Italian? Come si dice in italiano?
Italiano si dice dentista.
Exactly, it's the same in English. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same word. It's dentist.
Dentist.
Yeah, it's the same word. Just take off the A. Instead of dentista, it's dentist.
Dentist.
Clear?
Yeah. No, yes.
So repeat after me. There's a dentist in the middle right on the top row. Repeat.
So there is a dentist in the middle right.
On the top row.
On the top row.
Yeah, that's a good way to talk about the location. In the middle right on the top row. If that's too difficult to say on the top row, you could just say above. That's okay too. It's a shorter way. All right? So, you didn't know that dentist was the same in both languages?
Actually, there is another name in Italian. There is another appropriate words for that kind of for a teeth maker prosthetics.
That's true. That's true. But remember, he doesn't have to be a person who makes prosthetics. That picture is just to give you some clues about a general occupation, right? So don't take it too literally.
Okay.
We just had to find some image that helps you think of the general name of the occupation. So he's not necessarily making prosthetics. He's just a dentist. Because in Portuguese it's dentista, so that's why I thought it was dentista in Italian. So
it's the same word also in French.
Yeah, I think in all because because the Latin word, all the Latin languages use dent for teeth, and in English we take the Latin word, but we don't use it. We use Latin words in occupations a lot, or in scientific things. So the everyday word in English might be different, but if it's something really official, we'll use the Latin word. So in this case, we do dentist. All right, Giuseppe, your next question is to Yuki.
What sort of a job does the man who is to the left, right of the woman, right in the in the left middle, on the down row.
On the in the you could say in the lower row.
In the lower row. In the lower row.
Okay, so ask that question one more time because I got a little lost with your location. Ask it one more time. Sorry.
Okay. What sort of a job does the man who is to the left?
To the left of whom?
To the left of whom?
No. Whom? Who, which person? To the left of the painter? To the left of who?
To the left of the painter.
Ah, okay, good.
In the lower row.
In the lower row, good. But yes. What sort of job does the man to the left of the painter in the have? That's the whole sentence, and you can see it as number 5 on page 6 of our notes. If you want to look at the sentence, it's there, number 5. So repeat after me. What sort of job does the man to the left of the painter in the lower row have? Repeat after me, Giuseppe.
What sort of the job does the man to the left of the painter in the lower row have?
Perfect. Yuki, what do you think? Uh-oh, Yuki's stumped. He doesn't know.
Sorry. The man, the man to the left of the painter in the lower row is a mechanic.
Perfect. He's a mechanic. The man to the left of the painter is a mechanic. Okay. You all know what to do, so I'm not going to say anything else. Yuki, your next question is to Asma.
Yes. Tell me, Asma, what kind of job does the man to the left of the mechanic in the bottom in the lower row
have?
Sorry.
Yeah, at the end.
I think he's a killer.
Is he a killer?
Is it isn't you? Yeah.
I don't know if he's a killer. He could be a killer. But look, Asma, he's got his hand out. He wants you to put something in his hand. What do you think he wants, Asma?
He wants money.
Of course he wants money, so he's not a killer. He's a what?
But why he takes this arm, this
gun?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a gun, so he's not like very polite. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But what's the word for someone who takes money by force? Doesn't mean he's going to kill you.
Is a bigary. I don't know in general the bigary. Bigary is a bigger.
I don't know about that.
Not bigger.
I don't know about that. Someone help her out.
A robber.
A robber. She's a robber, Asma. A robber.
And a thief.
And a thief. He could be a thief as well, yeah. The reason that the robber is a better word because robber would probably be carrying a gun. Probably.
And is that a job?
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you work at a bank, if you're like the CEO. Yeah. So I don't mean the person at the teller. I mean the person who owns the bank. The thief doesn't necessarily have a gun. It's a good word too. You could say that. The thief is someone who tries to take the money without you noticing, probably. The robber probably has a gun or could have a gun. Thief is Thief. Robber is Robber, just so you know. So thief or robber? Probably robber because he's got a gun. Got that, Asma?
Yeah, I get it.
Fantastic. Your next question is to Christian.
Okay. Christian, what is the job of the what is the job of the person who is above the robber?
Good. That's it. What is the job of the person who is above the robber? That's it.
She's a painter.
She is a painter. Oh, but that's strange because we had a painter already. Remember, this was the painter. Where was our painter? I lost my painter. Oh, the painter was number 21. Christian. Yeah. The painter was number 21, but she's talking about 13, so we got to find a different name for her.
Yeah, one of the ones I think.
She's an artist.
Yeah, in general, she's an artist. Yeah, in general, she's an artist. She happens to paint. She could be any kind of an artist. She could be a sculptor or something else. So she's an artist. She's a painter. But we're going to say artist because 21 is a painter, and a painter could be a profession. You professionally paint buildings or something like that. So to distinguish that, we'll call her an artist, but you're right. What kind of artist? She's a painter. So painter could mean both. Could mean artist or could mean the profession of actually painting walls. So we're going to go with artist for number 13. Sorry, Asma, what were you saying?
Yeah, just one question. Who paint the wall? His occupation is a painter?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right. And whoever paints your portrait, their occupation is painter as well, or portrait painter, or artist. So artist is...
Or fresco painter.
Or fresco, if you're fancy, yeah. if you live in the Italian Renaissance, then maybe you're a fresco. Maybe, yeah, absolutely. Got lots of choices. But painter would be a good word for both 13 and 21. But it's the only word you can use for 21. That's the point. Whereas 13, you've got different choices. So I'm going to go with artist for 13 because we had to pick some image to give you artist. So I used the oh, Asma, wait a second. No, who was asking that? Who was answering? Christian. Christian, you're not off the hook yet. What is the artist holding in her hands? What's she holding?
A brush.
She's holding a brush in her left hand. What's she holding in her right hand? Give me your best guess.
A template? No. Template.
Good guess. It makes sense. It's a good guess. Class? Does anyone know another word? Template is not the best word.
Brush.
No, in her right hand. In her right hand. In her left hand, she's holding a brush. In her right hand, she's holding what?
I don't know.
Giuseppe, Asma, want to make a guess?
Giuseppe is Italy.
Aquarelle.
Country word.
Say, Asma, say again a little louder. I couldn't hear you.
No, it's kind of how you I don't. It's an instrument. Means like aquarelle or something kind of colored.
Yeah, it's what you use to mix the colors. It's what you use to mix the colors. It's called
palette.
Palette is correct. It's a palette. That's right. So in her right hand, she's holding a palette. In her left hand, she's holding a brush. That's it. Okay, Christian, your question is to Giuseppe.
Okay. What's the job of the person who is...
Say it without who. You don't need who. What is the job of the person to the right, to the left, above, below, etc.? Take out the who.
What's the job of the person to the right of the artist?
Good. Giuseppe?
It's not clear because I guess he's a doctor, a surgeon.
Well, not exactly. What's he cutting? Can you see what he's cutting? It's not thread. It's bigger than thread. It's not a good picture. It's true. It's not. You can't really see it well. He's cutting something, but it's bigger than thread. I'll give you a hint. It's the thing we're using to communicate right now. The thing that's connecting us across Europe. The thing that's connecting us across the ocean to talk to Yuki and to talk to Asma. What are those things that go across the ocean and across the highway?
Telecommunication.
Communication what? Not threads, but...
Network communication.
Yeah, there's a better word than network. That you could say cable, communication line, trunk line for the phone, cable. So if he works with cables and lines, he could also work with wires. He could also work with wires.
He's an electrician.
He's an electrician, yeah. I know it's not a great picture, but he's supposed to be an electrician. It's true. So there's an electrician in the upper row to the right of the painter. That's it. Giuseppe, your next question is to Yuki.
Of the artist.
Of the artist. Yeah, you're right.
Okay. What's the
electrician?
Electrician is right.
Okay.
Go for it, Giuseppe.
Okay. Well, what's the person? Person job. To the right of the dentist.
Good. To the right of the dentist, Yuki. Good.
It's a woman. A woman to the left of the dentist.
To the right of the dentist? To the right.
To the right of the dentist is, I think, key puncher.
A key puncher? I don't know what job that is. Someone who hits you in the face if you have a key? What's a key puncher? It's true she's punching the keys. It's true she's punching the keys of that machine, but look what's in her left hand. What's in her left hand? What's that green thing? Remember, this is probably American. So what?
It's a note, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bill. It's a note. It's money.
Yes.
So
she's accounting. Accountant.
Well, she's not an accountant. That's a good guess. But because accountants work with numbers, she's actually touching the money. She's going to put the money in that machine. What kind of machine is that?
She's a cashier. No.
She's a cashier. Very good. She's a cashier. Very good. She's a cashier. C-A-S-H-I-E-R. C-A-S-H-I-E-R. Cashier. Cashier. What's that machine, Yuki? She's punching the keys of the what? What's that machine?
It's typewriter, not typewriter. Cash machine, no?
Yeah, there's an even better word. It registers the amount of money, so it's a cash register. Yeah, cash register.
Cash register.
And if we're speaking quickly, we just say register. It's like, oh, I'll meet you at the register. You go shopping and I'll meet you at the register. We mean the cash register. That's it. Although no one uses cash anymore, we still call it a cash register. Well, a register. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to go to the lightning round. I'm going to give you the rest of the occupations just by asking you a question, but I may ask you about an occupation that you've already seen. So in that case, it'll be a review. But we're going to do this really quick because in the second half of class, I want to move on from occupations to what these people actually do, some verbs related to their occupations. So we're back to asthma. What's the job of the person in the upper row to the far right?
upper or the...
What's the job of the person in the upper row to the far right side? Asma, what do you think?
Musician?
Which number are you looking at? Which number?
18.
That's right. And you said he's a musician? Oh, you got to look at the picture a little better. He's got a funny hat, and he's got a hose. It's not a saxophone, that's a hose, something that water comes through.
I don't know.
That kind of hat is only for one kind of profession. Class, what is he? Number 18.
A firefighter.
He's a firefighter. Yeah, that hat is a firefighter's hat. Do you see that? It's like a helmet, but it's got a funny shape to it. Do you see that, Asma?
Yeah.
So he's holding a hose. He's got a red firefighter's hat. He's a firefighter. And you could also say, in the old days we would say fireman, but it doesn't have to be a man. So anyway, we still tend to say fireman, but firefighter is better, more politically correct. So there's a firefighter in the upper row to the far right. What about, Christian, what about in the middle left? Upper row, middle left. What's his job?
He's a dentist.
In the middle left? I don't think so. I hope he's not a dentist. I'd be afraid. Oh no.
In the middle left, what row?
Of the upper row. In the middle left.
He's a clown.
He's a clown.
A clown.
Yeah, I wouldn't want if that was my dentist, I would be very afraid. Very afraid. Christian, what's the clown holding in his hand? What's he holding?
He's holding. A horn.
He's holding a horn. That's right. He's holding a horn. So in the middle left, we've got a clown. In the middle right, that's our dentist. Giuseppe, what about the person between the robber and the painter? Oh, there's a new location word, between. What about the person between the robber and the painter?
Robber and the painter, there is a mechanic.
Yeah, we've seen that one before. And Yuki, what about the person between the tailor? Not between. What about the person, below the cashier? What about the person below the cashier?
Person below the cashier is a architect.
That's our architect, yeah. That's our architect. Because there is the completed building in our hand, the little model. And before, we saw, if I could go back, we saw this kind of like a construction. With number 3, it's kind of like this construction model. So the other one is supposed to be the architect. Supposed to be. Anyway, these pictures aren't perfect.
Can I call him a designer? No?
No, because a designer could be like fashion and clothes, right?
Fashion designer.
Yeah. So we've got architect, designs a building, it's true. But we've got interior architect. Another word for that could be decorator. Another word for that could be designer, because designer here is kind of dealing with fashion too, but in the sense of decorating an apartment. So sometimes it's called interior architect, sometimes it's called designer or decorator. When you're just talking about the color of the paint, that everything matches, maybe you do a little bit of feng shui, I don't know, whatever you're doing. And Asma, what about the dude on the far right in the lower row? What kind of dude is that? Yeah?
Work in the garden, I think.
So, if he works in the garden, what is he?
Gardener.
Gardener. Yeah. He's a gardener. Whoever can tell me what he's holding in his hand wins a cookie. Who wants a cookie? Who wants a cookie? If you can tell me what he's holding in his hand, I will email you a yummy chocolate chip cookie.
Bluff. No?
Say again?
Bluff? No?
You do not get the cookie, Yuki. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Who else? Who feels brave?
What's the question?
The question is, what's the gardener holding in his hand? What's he holding?
Which hand?
Say again?
Which hand?
Which hand? The only hand that we can see. I think it's his right hand.
A shovel?
Shovel. Good guess. You're close, but not a shovel. No cookie. I'm sorry. No cookie for you, Christian. You do not win the cookie. I'm sorry. Asma?
Not a plow? No?
Not a plow. No, because a plow is what a horse would be dragging to the ground. It's a good guess, but it's not a plow. Sorry?
Spade?
Spade?
Yeah.
Spade is very close, but a spade is small. So a spade has a very short handle. Almost there. We're almost there. Not a spade. Almost. Giuseppe, you're the only one who hasn't guessed.
I'm looking to internet.
Drake.
If you get it right, you win a cookie.
Maybe hoe?
It is a hoe.
Oh.
Yuki wins the cookie.
Got it.
You win the cookie. It's a hoe. So a hoe has a long handle. A spade is a short handle. A shovel has a slightly different shape. It's more like it's all in one direction, whereas the hoe is kind of bent like a hook. So a shovel would be straighter than that instrument. Okay, but there you go. We've got a lot of words. We've got more than just one word now. We've got hoe, which you can see, shovel, which you can't see, spade, which is like a little shovel, and plow is what the horse drags through the ground, the farmer, the horse, and the plow. Oh, by the way, Christian, you mentioned which hand. So what about in his left hand? What's that thing in his left hand? That kind of...
I think he's holding a watering can, maybe.
Yeah, what do we call that, actually? I wonder. Hand me the... What do we call that? Watering can. Do we say watering can? Now I'm confused. I can't think of the word. What is that thing called? Water the plants with... I'm blanking on the word. I can't even think. What is that? I guess maybe you're right. Maybe it is watering can. Can anyone think of a better word? No?
I made up.
No, but you might be right. I think you're actually right. I can't think of a better word right now. Oh, if it comes to me, I'll tell you. Water the plants with hand me the watering... Yeah, I think it is watering can. I can't think of a better word, so we're going to go with watering can. I can't think of a better word. That's a real problem. If it's my language and I can't think of the word, that's a problem. But not a big problem, because if I can't think about it, then probably no one can. Okay, take a look at this. I'm going to think about it, and if I get a better word, I'll tell you. The last set the last set here. What about on the far left, Giuseppe? What about on the far left? What do you think that guy does on the far left?
Bakery.
Bakery is the place. What's the person?
Yeah.
You're right.
Baker.
Baker. So number 25 is a baker. B-A-K-E-R. Baker. Okay. And what about to his right, Yuki? What about to his right?
A person to the right of the baker is a planter, no?
Almost.
Something like
Plumber.
Plumber.
And plumber is spelled with a silent B. So B like boy, it's silent. P-L-U-M-B like boy, B-E-R. P-L-U-M-B-E-R. But we don't say the B, so it's plumber. Plumber.
Plumber.
We're not plumber, but plumber. Even
Plumber.
though it's, yeah, that's it. Okay? And what about to the far left, Asma? What about to the far left?
Cleaning house.
That's what he does. Yeah, that's what he does. He cleans.
A cleaner.
A cleaner. Yeah, there's a better word. If it's someone in a building whose job is only to work in that building, nowhere else, we don't say cleaner for that. A cleaner is someone who goes to many different places, but if your job is to work in one place, like a school, and you only work in that school, you're not a cleaner.
Keeper?
No, that's for a hotel. Housekeeper or a private residence might have a housekeeper. Hotels will have a housekeeper, maybe. So this is more for something industrial or like a school. Someone help her out. What's another word for cleaner?
Street cleaner, no?
Well, he's not in the street. He could be in the school. He could be in a school.
I don't know.
Begins with the J. J like Jon-Eric, my name. J. Michael Jackson's sister is
Janet.
Janet. So he is a
Janet cleaner.
Janitor.
Janitor.
He's a janitor. He's Michael Jackson. No, he's not Michael Jackson. He's a janitor. J-A-N-I-T-O-R. He's a janitor. And Christian, what about to his left? What about to the janitor's left, Christian?
She's a doctor.
She's probably a doctor. What did I have for 29? I had, yeah, doctor. Okay. Christian, you win not a cookie. You win a box of cookies. Yummy chocolate chip cookies sent to you by email. If you can tell me the instrument that she's holding, the one that's in her ears.
Sorry?
What instrument is she holding in her hand that's going to her ears? That's probably easy. It's probably the same in your language too.
Hair check.
Uh-oh. What's your mother tongue? Is it Spanish? Christian.
Yes.
What's your mother tongue? What language do you speak? Spanish?
Spanish.
What do you call that instrument in Spanish?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, that's the problem then. Because I think it's the same in Spanish as it is in English. Does anyone know?
Baba.
No? Say again?
Barbara.
No, 29. Look at 29.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, 29. What's that instrument the doctor's using in 29? What's that instrument called? Does anyone know? You win a box of cookies. Not just one. A whole box of yummy chocolate chip cookies sent to you from Portugal through your email. If you have a 3D printer.
Something scope.
Okay. Getting warmer. Not a something scope, but
Telescope.
Say again, Asma?
Telescope.
Not a telescope. No, you're not looking at Jupiter. No. Telescope is looking for other planets. Here you're trying to listen to the person's breathing, right? Or the heartbeat. No one's got it? No one? Going once? Going twice? No one wins the box of cookies. It's a stethoscope. Stethoscope. Got it?
Yes, I know.
Don't ask me to spell that. Stethoscope. I think it's S-T-E-T-H-O, then scope. Stethoscope.
Difficult.
Christian, what's that thing in the doctor's hand? Christian, what is that thing in the doctor's hand?
She is holding a stethoscope.
Very good. It's a stethoscope. Very good. A stethoscope and probably a clipboard as well. She's holding a clipboard and a stethoscope. All right. And last two people. So we've got Giuseppe next. This one is really easy. What's to her left? What's to the doctor's left, Giuseppe?
It's a barber.
It's a barbier. No, it's a barber.
Barber.
Who is barbier?
A barbier is a giant grizzly bear who cuts your hair. It's a barbier.
Barbiere, barbiere.
Ah, but this is a barber. But listen, if you have a barbier, you can make a lot of money, let me tell you. Bear that cuts your hair would be excellent.
Unfortunately, I have another one.
Yuki, the last one.
Yes.
The one in the middle left.
Middle left.
The last one.
She's a key puncher.
She's a?
She's a key puncher.
No,
Typer.
Typist.
Typist.
Not a typer, but a typist in this case. So, a typist. There's another name for this, which I don't think any of you are going to know. But if your job is to be a typist in a court or any place, I'm sorry, say again?
Secretary, no?
For number 27?
Secretary.
Oh, secretary. Oh, yes. Well, we don't often use the word secretary anymore because it has many meanings.
Yes.
They use computer now.
Yeah, and a secretary is more like in the government, the Secretary of State.
Bureaucracy.
Bureaucrat. Yeah.
Bureaucrat.
So we're probably going to use secretary for some government job. Here we're going to say typist because that's what she's doing, or receptionist, or if it's like a position at a company, it could be at the front door, it could be a receptionist, could be a person who works in administration, if it's like, in a school or something like that. But her actual job is, in this case, is a typist. For not a cookie, not a box of cookies, for a year's supply, I don't know why cookies, maybe I should offer you something better. For your very own submarine, tell me, what is the name of the job of the typist? The typist who works in a court, or the typist whose job it is to record what he or she hears. So usually you see this kind of typist in a court. Even today, you'll hear it. You'll hear this name. But it could be any kind of a typist whose job it is to transcribe exactly what they hear. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're transcribing, but that's not the name of the job. So it's basically another way to say typist, but it's a special fancy word for typist. No one's going to get this. It's impossible. No one's going to get it. It's a difficult word, like stethoscope. It's difficult.
Stenographer.
Could you
Oh my God! Oh my God! Who said that?
I looked up the dictionary. Sorry.
Oh my God! You just won a submarine, Yuki. You won your personal submarine. I hope you have.
No, I looked up the dictionary. So, sorry.
Well, that's how you learn. Stenographer. So the stress stenographer is on the second syllable. Stenographer. That's right. So a stenographer is in a court. Usually, in other words, a transcriptionist. A stenographer is a transcriptionist. A typist who transcribes is a stenographer. And you can say stenograph. There's someone say, take a note. Well, if you take a note, you're a stenographer. I suppose if you write it by hand, you could also be a stenographer, I suppose. Usually they have a little machine, like a special typewriter that lets them type really fast. hang on just a second because I want to see if I can give you. Okay, before we go, we're not done yet. Before we go, I want you to take a look at these pictures. Can you see on your screen? There we go. Transcriptionist is also a word. That's true. In these pictures, we're getting away from the name of the job and we're looking instead at the place where they work. The place where they work. So an artist works in the building on the far left. Where does an artist work? This is up to you as a class now. Class, where does an artist work? In the building on the far left. Where does an artist work?
Gallery.
In a gallery, Giuseppe says. And let's get some other ideas. An artist works in a gallery, possibly. But you don't paint the paintings in a gallery, right?
Studio.
In a studio, I agree.
Yeah.
So your answer is an artist works in a studio. In the far left, you can see a studio. Okay, very good. And the person who makes your bread works in what kind of place? To the right of the studio. The person who makes... Say again, Giuseppe?
Bakery.
In a bakery, in a boulangerie, in a bakery. Right. And what about to the right of the bakery? To the right of the bakery, I don't know if you can see that. It's a little hard to see. To the right of the bakery, you have the place. After you make the bread, you give it to this place, and it's the place where we eat the bread.
Restaurants.
It's a restaurant. Yeah, that's a stupid one. You can see it. You can see a knife and a fork. It's a restaurant. What about on the far right side? Can you see what that is?
Hospital.
It's a hospital. There's a cross. The colors are not that. It's a little hard to see. It's supposed to be a green cross, I think. Someone get the door.
Yep.
I think Giuseppe was ringing the doorbell of the hospital. I'm not sure. In the bottom right. Christian, what happens in the bottom right? What place is that?
He works a mechanic.
That's where the mechanic works. So where does the mechanic work? What's the name of the place? Where does the mechanic work? In a hospital? No. In a restaurant? No.
I'm a mechanics.
Well, if you say mechanics, you have to say a mechanics shop. Okay. If you're going to say mechanics, it's okay. Mechanics shop. You can also say body shop because you're working on the body of the car, the body shop. But there's a much better word that's really clear. It's the place where your car sleeps at night. Where does your car sleep?
Parking.
Parking what? Parking what? Give me the second word.
Parking garage.
Well, I say garage because I'm American. Garage.
Garage.
In British English, it's garage. In British English, garage. In American English, garage.
Garage.
Okay?
Okay.
So if you're using British English, you say garage. But I don't use that. And what about to the left of the garage? Class, what about to the left of the garage?
Hairdressers.
Uh-huh. Cabeleireiro in Portuguese. I don't know what it is in Spanish. What's the word in Spanish, Christian?
Peluquería.
What is it?
Peluquería.
Aluqueria.
Peluquería.
Peluqueria.
Yes.
Ah, who knew? Quizás. So, what do we call it in English? If I say peluqueria, how would you translate that? Uh-oh. Hair?
Salon.
Hair salon. Okay, yeah. You could say it's a salon, hair salon. What's another word you could use with hair? Hair salon or hair?
Hairdressers.
Hairdressers. Yeah, because it's hairdresser's shop or hairdresser's salon. We can just say, to the right of the garage is a hairdresser's. That's right, to the hairdresser's. If a barber works there, it's not a hairdresser's, it's a barber shop. Is that clear?
Yes.
If the barbers sing, it's a barbershop quartet. If they sing. If they don't sing, then it's just a barbershop. That was a joke, and it wasn't funny. You don't have to laugh at my jokes, don't worry. What about the last two? What about the place of work? Right in the middle of the picture. Right in the middle of the picture. Below the restaurant. What is that? That looks like a place maybe where a scientist might work.
Laboratory.
Laboratory, right. Laboratory. That's right. And the last one, class, in the bottom left. There's a piano, so what do you think's in the bottom left next to the laboratory?
Opera house.
Opera house, says the Italian.
Opera.
We don't know if it's opera, it could be anything, but it's the place where you perform music.
Concert hall.
Concert hall, yeah. We don't know if it's La Scala or if it's Carnegie Hall. We don't know. So in general, we'll say concert hall, H-A-L-L. And that's it. So before we go, just a quick review. We have studio, 32, 33 bakery, 34 restaurant, 35 hospital, right? 36 concert hall, 36 on the left. 36 was concert hall, 37 was laboratory, 38 barbershop or hairdressers or hair salon, and 39 garage in American English or garage in British English. And now you know a whole ton of words for occupations, and you know where they are, where they work. We're going to stop the class now. In the next classes, what we're going to do is take our occupation, look at actual verbs we use, like these, and like these, and like these, and then we're going to use those actions and those nouns and those verbs to tell a story. That's what we're going to do in the next class. I don't know when the next class is. I have to look at my schedule, but I'll try to do these on Saturdays if I have time, if there's space in the schedule. Okay? So, I hope some of this vocabulary was useful. Feel free to send questions and comments through the Verbling chat window. What were you going to say, Yuki? Sorry?
I think it's useful. Yeah.
Thank you. Very good. Okay. Don't forget, if you want Anki flashcards to help remember the vocabulary, send me a message. I'm going to put the vocabulary here for free in your notes. The Anki flashcards will have a small price. They're not expensive. There's always a free version and a paid version for those. Okay, but anyway, if you're curious or want to know more, send me a message. By the way, Giuseppe, we've got to talk about your progress with Anki sometime. I want to know how you're doing.
Yeah, in the morning I just sent the Anki cards because before I can look at it.
Okay, no problem. Well, send me a message or something, and we'll have an update, because I want to show you some of the features as well. Okay.
I give the first looks very well done with the audio, description, and so on.
I recorded for all these cards. I recorded audio, so you'll be able to hear it. I have a fill-in-the-blank kind of question. So if I remember right, so I don't think it's just words. I think it's sentences. It depends on which card. I think I made different ones. But what I want to show you when you start using these, what I want to show you is I want to show you how to create your own cards, how to customize them. Anki is easy to use, but it's a little confusing when you try to make your own cards. So in the future, I want to show you that, and you can start to make your own cards as well. All right? we'll talk about that. You send me a message and tell me how it's going. All right?
Sure, I will.
Okay.
All right.
I will send you a feedback. Of course.
All right. Bye for now, everyone.
Bye
Have a
for
good
now.
weekend.
Goodbye.
Have a good weekend. Bye bye.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
weekend. Take care. See you.